Donald J. Trump won re-election to the presidency of the United States in large part because of a very brilliantly executed strategy of being a guest on some independent podcasts like Joe Rogan, like Theo Vaughn, like Sean Ryan, Aiden Ross, the Nelk Boys, and X Spaces. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, good for Donald Trump, but what does that have to do with me?
Welcome to the Thought Leader Revolution with Nikki Ballou. Join the revolution. There's never been a better time in history to speak your truth, find your freedom, and make your fortune. Each week, we interview the world's top thought leaders and learn the secrets of how they built a 6 to 7 figure practice. This episode has been brought to you by eCircleAcademy.com, the proven system to add 6 to 7 figures a year to your thought leader practice.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the podcast, The Thought Leader Revolution. I'm your host, Nikki Ballou, and boy, do you have an exciting episode lined up for you today. Today's episode is another powerful thought leader nugget featuring moi. So guys, let's look at the phenomenon that is taking the marketing world by storm, and that's podcast guesting. Podcast guesting appearances are super effective, super powerful at helping you generate leads, sales, and clients. And why do I say that, guys? Because none other than President-elect Donald J. Trump just proved this. Donald J. Trump won re-election to the presidency of the United States in large part because of a very brilliantly executed strategy of being a guest on some independent podcasts like Joe Rogan, like Theo Vaughn, like Sean Ryan, Aiden Ross, the Nelk Boys, and X Spaces. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, good for Donald Trump, but what does that have to do with me and my business? That's a spectacularly great question. So let's dive right into it, shall we? So taking a look at Trump and how he won. This shouldn't have happened if you look at the numbers purely, because his opponent, Kamala, whatever the heck you want to call her, she raised way more money than he did. She raised $1.4 billion. She had 100% legacy media support, which is estimated to be worth at least $6 billion with a B. She had $1 billion in outside backing and dark money. She went heavily into ads, and as a result, she went into debt, and she still lost. Trump raised a lot of money too, but way less than her, $400 million. The legacy media was 97% opposed to him, so that was actually money against him. He had outside backing, but only $250 million compared to her. Now, he spent sparingly on ads, but he went strong into new media and podcasts, and he won. Now, why is that, guys? There's a few reasons. Here's a reason why ads and that sort of thing isn't working, because legacy media, including social media, is all about scripted conversations, while independent podcasters are all organic conversations that are absolutely long form. You know, the legacy media she was on, like CNN, MSNBC, CBS, New York Times, Washington Post, their total reach was around 3 million viewers. And she went all in on these folks. And the people that were consuming that news, they were already voting for her. So she got no net new customers. And that doesn't really work. In contrast, good old Donald Trump, he went on Rogan, Theo Vaughn, Nelk Boys, Patrick Bet-David, Aiden Ross, Elon Musk Spaces, and the total reach there was over 330 million viewers, 100 times hers. And the most important thing was that those people were people that were either apolitical or not really totally sold on Donald Trump. So he went there, he humanized himself, right? And because he humanized himself, people who weren't necessarily going to vote for him started to vote for him. Now, listen, it's estimated that he got 4 million new voters because of going on new media, on podcasts. And he won 77 million votes. She won 74 million votes. So if he'd have gotten 4 million less, she would have won the election. So it totally helped him win. And in her case, if she's going after people that are already voting for her, like, Washington Post readers and MSNBC viewers, she's not going after new voters. So there's ergo no new customers for her. If he's going after new voters by going on Rogan, Vaughn, people who aren't yet sold on him, those shows helped him humanize himself and allowed him to win over those new voters. And ergo, those are new customers for him, guys. You got to just get all this. So the whole advertiser-driven, super expensive, scripted, ineffective old media has low to no ROI, while the whole, long-form content, free, unscripted, organic, effective new media with high ROI was his strategy. So think about this, okay? Podcast listeners and hosts have the highest income and net worth profile in all social media. Psychologically, these folks are action takers and doers. They're looking to solve their problems and get to the next level. That's why that matters to you. Here's the other thing you got to understand. Those folks, they understand the difference between spending and investing. Spending is you put money out, you don't expect it to come back. Investing is you put money out and you expect it to come back. These folks believe in investing in themselves, and they believe in investing in business opportunities and projects. They're into investing in things like real estate, stocks and bonds, crypto, options themselves. Guys, that's what it's all about, right? And the truth is, Donald Trump just proved that podcast guesting is the hottest trend in marketing. It's fresh and it's new. It's a blue ocean. It's not a red ocean, right? So there's no competition, but there's just a small window of opportunity to establish yourself as a sought-after guest expert, maybe 12, 18 months. This is no cost and high yield marketing, guys. That's what makes it powerful. Okay. If you're a subject matter expert on a podcast, you're reaching a large audience of your ideal, clients, even investors, if you're in real estate, lenders, buyers, etc. It helps you promote your business, your project, raise capital. It helps you sign clients. It helps you position yourself as the authority. That's what accelerates your success. That's what lets you have a bigger impact and add 6, 7, even 8 figures to your income. Guys, all of this is super true. And you need to understand that podcast guesting is showing you that you don't need to spend so much money on ads anymore. The truth is that as buyers, we don't trust commercials, ads, and traditional media narratives anymore, including social media. The ROI used to be when you spent $1 on ads on something like Facebook, you'd get 20 back in terms of revenue or investment. Now you spend $10 on ads, and if you're lucky, you get back $1 to $5. And that just isn't sustainable. You need like 10, 20, 30 grand a month just to spend that on ads to get any sort of return. And if the return's negative, it's not sustainable, guys. And the truth of the matter is, for you, without new leads, without deals to evaluate, without clients, without cash flow, you've got no business. So you've got to understand that podcast guesting is the way for you to go. It's been the biggest secret in marketing, but it's starting to come out, especially with Trump's victory. And you need to understand that as a podcast guest, you don't need any sort of big marketing budget, guys. You don't need to be a tech expert or to invest in sophisticated tech, guys. You don't even need to be a great salesperson. You just need to be someone who's honest, someone who's articulate, and you don't need a list or existing clients or a well-known brand. You just need to be willing to put yourself out there, guys. And I'm here to tell you, being a guest on someone else's show lets you leverage their audience and their podcast to find new clients for yourself. And if you're looking for investors, even new investors for your projects. Guys, this is it. This is what I wanted to share with you today. And I am clear that you love this, that you're excited by this, because you're listening to this late in 2024, thinking about how it can prep you for 2025. And I trust you got a ton of value. So make sure that if you did, you give us a like, a rating, a review, and that you share this with someone else who needs to hear this message. I'm Nicky Ballou, and thank you for listening. And that is a wrap for another exciting episode of the Thought Leader Revolution. To check out what we talk about in greater detail, go to the show notes. And until next time, goodbye and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Take care.
This episode has been brought to you by eCircleAcademy.com, the proven system to add 6 to 7 figures a year to your thought leader practice.